So I'm live. I'm not sure if it's up on video yet, but should be. Hopefully it is. I do know Recon's here early for a change. ASD dropped by. I hope things get better for you, ASD, so you can stay around a little bit longer at some point. I know you're having it rough, so keep in touch with us. Let us know. Boy, I'm a mess. I didn't even comb my hair tonight. Huh. Oh well. Y'all are used to seeing artists that look like bums anyway, probably. Oh well. The way it goes. I wonder why that don't turn. It's supposed to go the other way. I think I know why. I think something's not on there right. I don't know. It used to turn the other way, I thought. Oh well. Whatever. It works. Recon, how you doing tonight, buddy? No, I didn't get it yet, buddy. I know you did. I looked at it. It didn't seem like it changed much. But I need to look at it again. The problem is I won't probably know until tomorrow. It takes about 2 days to update, so I'll know better tomorrow, Recon. I'll let you know. Ken, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Glad you made it tonight. Turn this mic a little bit here. So as y'all can see, we're getting set up for the cameras and everything. We're getting there. We're almost there. Almost there. Turn my dang chair. That's what I get for turning my chair. I meant to bring my other camera back out here. I wanted to try multi-cameras tonight as an experiment, but I forgot to bring it out. Oh well. Well, I can see I'm behind about 2 minutes again. Joy to the world. My upload speed is crap tonight again. I checked it. Download was great. Upload was terrible. I hope someday soon they'll fix this internet so that it'll work properly. Oh yeah, we're about 2 minutes behind. Let me do a little test here. Yes, sir. "36 seconds out." Okay. Well, not quite 2 minutes, but at least a half a minute out. But then again, I'm showing lag coming back in, so maybe it's less than that. So I think I'll log my wife out. And somebody didn't hit that like button. I'm not sure who, but somebody didn't hit it. Crosswords, 2 $5 tickets and a $10 ticket. Man, you win all for 20. Wow. That sounds like Florida. A win all for $1 each on each prize. Yep, sounds just like Florida. Well, I logged my wife off. Let's see if that helps. I hope. Let's see if that gives me some better time. I'm showing only 2 likes now. I mean, 2 people here, rather, not 2 likes. 2 people here. I can't see the likes right now. I haven't checked it lately. I've been taking the pills every night. I think the blood pressure pills actually are not strong enough. But I have an appointment at the end of the month, and I'll address that with the doctor and see if they want to up it or what they want to do. I wasn't noticing a huge change. Every once in a while, I'd get a pretty significant drop, but for the most part, it wasn't dropping that much. So they're probably not really strong enough. And let's see, today was Tuesday. Tomorrow, I think we're going to change my phone service again because I changed it and it ended up, I thought it was because of my Social Security and everything, I was able to get a free phone service. They sent me a SIM card and it's T-Mobile and it sucks. It is worthless. I can't get any reception whatsoever unless I go out in the yard, which makes it totally worthless. And then I get like 1 bar if I'm lucky. And somebody will send me a text. It may take an hour for me to get it. I can't even get a phone call, really. So we're going to go with my daughter's plan. We're going to jump in with her with a cheaper rate on it with unlimited text and all that good stuff. And it'll be back to Verizon, which actually does work in this area. No, I'm not getting it, Recon. Not for a while, anyway. I still don't trust it. I don't know if we're lagging real bad tonight or not. I don't know. I can't tell. It seemed like last night when I typed something, it was pretty fast. But the voice part of it seems to be slower. And I don't know why that is. I really don't. Except that it's the internet sending the voice and whatever. Yeah, I know people have had no problems with it at all, really. I think Minnie got it, and I think she had no problems whatsoever. My wife got it. Now her arm hurt for several days. She got the 2-shot one, and the first one, her arm hurt quite a bit for 2 or 3 days, several days, and then the second one it hurt again, but not quite as much. But she hasn't had any problems since then, which is good. So I don't know if you guys can see this or not. You guys see that picture? Let me fix it here. Maybe I can get a little bit closer. Take a good look at that picture right there, guys. Can you see it? I gotta hold it until somebody replies. That picture right there, I actually just found it going through all my other junk that I moved. Believe it or not, that is the very first wet on wet painting I ever did. But you can see I got a square mountain right there. It needed a lot of work. Let me move it back a little bit. Maybe that'll help. Maybe the light's the problem. Let me turn this off for a second. Let's see if this makes it a little bit better. I don't know. Probably not. Maybe further away. No. But anyway, that was my very first one. I'm just showing this so you guys know that I had no practice whatsoever. Anybody can paint wet on wet. That was my whole point in showing it to you guys. I did that. Now I painted traditional style before wet on wet, so I was painting before that, but it's not the same thing. But very little, not that much, off and on here and there. I think I painted that one about 1988, somewhere in that area. 89 maybe. But I did paint way before that too, but not wet on wet. And not that well. Actually, I did not paint that well for many, many years. In fact, I don't consider myself any kind of an expert at painting at all, really. There's a lot of guys out there way better than I am. That's for sure. I watch other videos myself some just to learn more. You never learn enough. Once you start painting, you never learn enough. Painting with other people is great too because you can watch them paint in person and pick up things. I've always wanted to paint with a really professional portrait artist. I've never had that happen yet, but I've always wanted to do that so I could pick their brain a little bit about how they did things and watch them, how they went about doing a portrait. And you all have seen me do a portrait, but that's figuring things out myself. That doesn't mean it's always right. I don't think there really is a right or wrong way. It's whatever works for you. But if you're actually working with somebody that's done it for a living, that's done it for a long, long, long time and does really well, they've learned a lot of things from other people and from themselves, which is a great thing to pass on to other people. Which is what I want to be able to do, is pass it on to other people. Because when I first started painting, there was no one around to learn from. You know, watch TV, Bob Ross, William Alexander, Buck Polson, a few other ones that were on TV. Pick up books, read books, instruction books on how to paint and whatever. Books are okay. They help some, but I haven't seen a book yet that really can walk you through a painting real clearly, thoroughly. It's just hard to explain some things. It's just a matter of doing it yourself and figuring out how to do certain things. It's hard for a book to explain all them because there's feelings involved in painting. There really is. There's a lot of feeling and emotion and things like that, and confidence, patience. There's so many things involved in it. It's just not a cut and dry thing. But at least I got most of the studio done. I'm still working on some of my music stuff here. I've got 3 guitars out here, which I really don't like them out here, but nowhere else to put them. 2 of them are pretty, well, actually, they're all pretty expensive, costly, but I have a Taylor 12 string. If you're familiar with guitars at all, you know Taylors are very expensive. They're not cheap. Even what they consider the cheaper models are expensive. But I have a 12 string Taylor, which is not their cheapest. It's several grades up. I have another 6 string Taylor, which that one was like $1,000. The 12 string was more than that. And I also have an Epiphone Les Paul, Traditional Pro 2, and some other equipment out here like my Marshall amp, a Behringer amp, and a Fender amp, and a drum machine and stuff like that. Microphones. It's hard to fit all this stuff in a 10 by 12 room. Believe me, you have no idea how hard it was to put the painting stuff out here, my office stuff, and my music stuff, and computer stuff. So it's really, really tough to do all that. I have no idea. She was at the house at the RV earlier, but I haven't seen her since then. I mean, she may jump on, she may not. In fact, I haven't even had time to play this guitar much lately at all. Very little. This is my 12 string Taylor. I don't know if you can see it very well. That's my 12 string Taylor. It's electric. You can amplify it. It needs to be tuned, sounds like. Oh, take my pick out, it might work. That one's a pretty pricey one right there. I almost was going to sell it, but I just couldn't part with it. I think you've all seen my other guitar. Yeah, when I did them videos. And this one, which is pretty heavy, and still dirty case. I thought I got it clean. This is my Epiphone Traditional Pro 2 Les Paul. And it's in mint condition. And I've upgraded this with some of Gibson's tuners, knobs and stuff like that. I didn't like the Epiphone ones. I wanted the Gibson ones on it. Got way better strings. It's got the good Grover tuners on it. And it's got some beautiful action on this one. This thing plays like you wouldn't believe. It's got some beautiful, beautiful sound to it. I just haven't had the time to do much with it. I'm hoping to do a few videos at some point with the actual drum machine and real microphones and effects and stuff like that. Just for the fun of it. My son Mark would die for any one of them guitars. He wants them all. But I told him he couldn't have any of them. Which he wasn't crazy about that. Even when I passed away, I told him he couldn't have them. I told my wife to sell them. Because I bought him a Les Paul once and given him several other guitars. He didn't take very good care of them, so I'm not going to have him get those and then not take care of them. Or sell them or butcher them. The Les Paul we got him, he actually ended up butchering it, trying to put different pickups in it and all kinds of crap and cutting it with a sawzall or jigsaw and whatever and just destroyed it. I mean, it was a few years down the road after we got it, but still, it really ticked me off. When you buy somebody a Les Paul, you expect them to take care of it for life. So I decided then he ain't getting another one. Although he actually did end up with another one. And we recently, well, it's been a while, but we ended up buying him an acoustic guitar, a Yamaha acoustic electric. It wasn't a real expensive one, but it was a few $100, but that's expensive enough. But for his birthday, Christmas together, basically. But that would be the last one he ever gets out of me. I'm surprised. Yeah, Jennifer's not here yet. Well, she might be lurking. We don't know. That's happened before. And Trinity's not here tonight. That's surprising. Nor Velvet. Is it something we said? Recon, do you play guitar at all? Or Ken, do you play guitar? Or am I the only one here that plays guitar? I mean, I attempt to play it. I'm not really that good at playing guitar, but I'm more of a rhythm player. I play a few chords and whatever. But now my son, I'll give him credit. He does play. He probably plays better than I do as far as playing lead, because he can play a lot of lead stuff, more rock and roll stuff. But I don't do that. I play more rhythm with a few lead things put in there, but not much. But of course, we don't play the same kind of music either. It makes a big difference. I like the oldie stuff, but he likes the newer hard rock and roll, Metallica, and all that kind of stuff. I don't do all that. Of course, you guys may like it too. You're younger than I am, so. Although my grandson Dylan, Jennifer's son, that's who he really likes is Metallica. And I bought him a new guitar, an acoustic, and I gave him one of my acoustic guitars, which is an electric also, that I had for many, many years. I mean, I had that thing for 20 years at least, and I gave him that one. And his mother, I encouraged Jennifer to buy him a new electric, which she did. An expensive one, but a learner guitar. But it was nice. I checked it out for him and tuned it up, made sure the neck was straight on and all that stuff, and the intonation was set and whatever. And his Uncle Mark, my son, gave him a guitar. It was really kind of one of his butcher jobs, but it just didn't look that good. But that was one of his first ones that he started out with. My grandson Dylan. It didn't play very well, but now he's got. And then I guess a friend of his gave him a guitar, so he's got. Gosh, he must have like 5 guitars now. But he's, eventually he'll move up to some better ones, because most of the ones he have are pretty inexpensive. The acoustic one I got him it wasn't expensive, but it was, a couple $100. A good learner guitar. but it's not bad. Hopefully he'll stick with it. He does play pretty often. He practices and whatever, but I've tried to teach him some, but it's been tough because he kind of wants to jump ahead. He doesn't want to do the work before playing the stuff that he wants to play. He's trying to jump them steps. I keep having to remind him, you gotta do the basic stuff first and practice. Practice all the time, as much as you can. I used to play the drums a little bit too. I've been in 2 or 3 bands, but I don't consider myself a drummer at all. I can keep a rhythm. I can keep a beat. That's about it. In fact, we had a gig once at the LARC, which is the workshop where our clients used to go. Of course, back then they had probably 50 of them of the same type of clients at the workshop. And the director there, who I've known for many, many years, asked me if we would play. I think it was for Halloween or some event. I don't know, it was Halloween or something. And just for fun. And we did. We played, 2 or 3 hours. They had a ball. That's fine, Recon. No problem. I knew you were scratching. But it was fun, and it gave a couple of the guys that played in the band, they would never played live before, so playing in a place like that with the clients right there, you could screw up all you wanted to. They never knew it. They never knew. Help build the guys' confidence a little bit. Yeah, saxophone's a great instrument, Ken. I love the sound of a saxophone. I had a nephew that played saxophone. I doubt that he does anymore, but he did at one time. You can do some great leads on a saxophone. It fits right into some rock and roll music with no problem. I gotta turn my AC down a little bit. I was starting to get a little bit chilly. When I was a kid, I actually started taking lessons to play cornet. That didn't last very long. I think I learned how to play My Country 'Tis of Thee or something like that, and that was about it. I guess it was through the school, and I had always wanted to play the guitar, but they didn't do guitar at the school, so it was cornet or nothing. And then my parents, I think I was about 8 years old, maybe 10, I don't know. My parents, for Christmas one year, my father got a huge amount of money. We're talking about back in the early 60s, mid 60s, about 65, 66. I've been 10, 11 years old, whatever. He worked for this Melanson's sheet metal company. They did roofing and all that stuff too, and whatever. He was a foreman. Well, the owner used to kind of cheap the men out of the money on these government jobs where they're supposed to make big money. And back then, I think my father made he was a foreman. He got $200 a week, I think. $5 an hour or something like that, which is really great money back then. And he was real young. And he worked for that company for 10 years. So they went on this big government job, cut the story short, and they worked for months on this government job. Come to find out, they were supposed to be getting paid. In the contract was required for them to pay the employees. My father was supposed to get $13 an hour because he was a foreman. $13 an hour back then is $50 an hour now, probably. It was big money. So anyway, I remember at Christmas time, we were poor. I mean, my father worked like 3 jobs to pay the bills and buy food and everything, and he was trying to add on to a house and add another level onto the house and upstairs and all that stuff, and all his money was going into that. And, my mother used to make him my father was a chain smoker. He smoked Pall Mall non-filters. My mother made him switch cigarettes for years and smoked, Raleigh non-filter. And she would make him smoke those, which he didn't have a problem with it. He liked them okay. But, they came with coupons. You got a coupon in every pack, and you buy them by the carton, you got, like 5 or 6 extra coupons. So she made him smoke them so she'd get the coupons. My mother was a coupon woman, I tell you. So she managed to save a huge amount of coupons. I mean, tons of them. And like I said, my father was a chain smoker. He smoked 3, 4 packs a day. And she actually had enough coupons to pay for Christmas that year because they didn't have much money. They did spend some money, but from each one of us kids got something from them coupons. I remember getting a bow and arrow set because I liked archery back then. This is a fiberglass bow with a few arrows and a target. I don't know what it cost with the coupons, but that's how she paid for it. I never got it for Christmas. They delivered it, but evidently the neighborhood dogs decided to tear the box up, and we found it that spring. But anyway, 3 days before Christmas, here's the blessing. My father gets a check in the mail, and he didn't even know it was coming. The company from where he worked for sent him a check for like $3,500 3 or 4 days before Christmas. My mother was ecstatic. She had Christmas. And one thing I can remember with my parents, we always had a good Christmas. I mean, the presents would be stacked up halfway around the tree. And so they went out and they spent a ton of money, hundreds of dollars on Christmas that year when we got that bonus. And that year, I got my first real Gibson Harmony guitar, jumbo. I don't know why he got me a jumbo. I was like 10, 11 years old. The freaking guitar was as big as I was. I had that guitar for a long, and in fact, it went with me when I went in the service, when I was in the Vietnam War here. It went with me. It was that old. And on the ship, because I guess the moisture and the hot and the cold, it ended up cracking down the side. I about cried when it did that. Yeah, but it ruined it. It would have been worth some money now. I've looked it up. It's been worth thousands now. And my brother got a drum set. And my sister got some kind of a flute organ thing or something. We all got instruments. We got a video of us kids playing all that stuff. Couldn't hear us back on Super 8mm of us. We got them presents. Nobody knew how to play nothing, but we were sure trying. But that was my first guitar. Had a lot of them since then. In fact, at one point, I think I had about 10 guitars. And none of them were cheap. They were all at least $500 a piece, up to about $1,500 each, some of them, when I played with a band. So, Ken, when you played saxophone in high school, did you play with the school band, the marching band with it or something, or just learn how to play the saxophone? And can you still play it? I wish I had been smart enough to learn how to read music back then better. I did take a music class, but I was terrible at learning how to read music. I think it was my own damn dog, and he liked me just fine, but evidently he wanted that box. He must have thought there was food in the box. I don't know. Am I lagging that bad that you just cut that? Wow. Oh, you didn't? You don't still play anymore? That's too bad. Wow, my glasses are filthy. No wonder I can't see nothing. I finally found my new ones. They're in the house, but they're still too strong. Pretty sure the VA won't do anything with them either. These are getting scratches on them pretty bad. Yeah, I'm just rambling on tonight, just trying to talk about something different. That's all. You winning any money back yet, Recon? Hmm. Well, that's a bummer. None of my girls are here tonight. No Trinity, no Jennifer, no Velvet. My daughter Nancy never comes on anymore. Sierra hasn't been on in God knows how long. Oh, you got $20 on a $10 ticket? Well, that's a double up. Nothing wrong with that. I've invited my other granddaughters to come on too, but Kirsten, she ain't been on in quite a while either. None of them have. The little boogers. Pretty bad when you got a new phone service and it don't work. Pitiful. Pitiful. No problem, Ken. Hmm. Yeah. Oh well. Hopefully we'll get this thing straightened out soon. I hate not having a phone that works. Never know. Especially with all the emergencies that we've had to go through for quite a while now. People dying in hospital all the time and whatever. I hate not having a phone. Who knows? Who knows? Welcome back, Ken. I don't know. I really liked Lucky too. I mean, I thought we had somebody that was going to be more of a permanent person coming in here. Then all of a sudden, poof, gone. What a shame. What a shame. Well, it's the way it goes. Must be this rich guy, I guess, and yes, it didn't matter. I'll be right back, guys. It's going to take me a few minutes, but I have to go into the restroom, so you'll have to wait me out. Alrighty, I'm back. Yeah, he didn't say goodbye or anything, or he was unhappy with the place or not, or nothing. You'd have thought he would have at least left a comment or something. Who knows? I don't know. I was hoping maybe he'd come back and tell us at some point, let us know what was going on, or if it was an emergency, or might have got sick and went in the hospital or something. Who knows? Heck, he might have got COVID for all we know. Yeah. Who knows? It's pretty rare for somebody to retire in their 30s. It really is. Even if it's your late 30s, but it's possible. My cousin in Washington, D.C., when I was a young guy, he was younger than me by 4 or 5 years. He always told us And we lived in New Hampshire then. We'd come down to Washington, D.C. to visit them, my mother's brother. And they're all well-educated kids and everything. And um, Greg, my cousin Greg Todd, always said when he was a kid that he was going to be a millionaire by the time he was 35. We always, of course, the rest of us kids always just laughed at him. But he was a worker and a go-getter. And gosh, when he was 10 years old, he started a paper route. When I went back down to Florida here, when he was probably 13 or 14, he still had that same paper route, but it grew enormously. It took him a long time, even with a car, to deliver all his papers every day. And he still worked, went to school and all that stuff. And he was off by a year. By the time he was 36, he was a millionaire. He actually owns a food canning factory, 6, what do they call them? No, 6 Dairy Queens, I think he owns. And I think he owns like 20 something travel agencies. And he lives in Alaska and some other businesses. But he's a millionaire. Yeah, I mean, when I found out when his older brother told me about him, his older brother does really well too. His older brother was an EMT, and they all went to college. My aunt and uncle. My aunt actually was the head nurse at the biggest hospital there in Washington D.C., wherever the president goes and all them people. She was a head nurse there for forever, and she made really good money. My uncle worked as a salesman selling furniture or something. He did really well. So they put all their kids through college. They all got big degrees and whatever. So my cousin Mark, the older brother, he was an EMT. Next thing I know, 20 years later, I found out he's the freaking administrator for that same hospital that his mother worked at as a head nurse. She'd already retired, but he was the freaking administrator to that hospital. So he made big bucks. And he still works he moved since then to West Virginia, I think, but he's still an administrator for another hospital. They all do very well. They make more money in a month than I make in a year. Although the cousin that's a millionaire probably makes more money in a week than I make in a year. But money changes people, though. I actually called my cousin Greg up once just to say hello. I didn't want a dang thing from him. His older brother would warn me. He says, "Be careful when you call him because he thinks everybody wants his money." I don't want his damn money. We were doing all right at the time of the group home. And so I called him up just to say hi. And he was like, "Yeah, what do you want?" I'm like, "I want nothing. I just called you to say hi to you. I know you're well off and all that good stuff. I just called to say hello to you. If you don't want to talk, that's fine. Whatever." We finally got a little bit friendlier after that, but I never called him back again. He just seemed to be a bit too uppity. When before, he used to tag around us all the time, talking and talking and talking and curious about everything and whatever, and helpful when you need help or whatever. But the money changed him totally. Too bad. But that's what happens when you get too much money, I guess. I had to turn the AC off. It was getting too cold, like 69 in here. Of course, it's not hot out tonight, so the AC really works good then. Yeah, I never had that problem of money, that's for sure. But if I have actually hit a big lottery or something like Brad did, I'd do the same thing he did. I'd get a financial advisor, you know, get an investment firm, a very reputable one, and I'd invest a lot of it, pay off all my bills, and then invest some. And then truly retire. But even if I did, I'd probably still do this YouTube. If it's for something to do, I'd still do the YouTube. And because I enjoy it. I do enjoy talking with you guys, every night. It's rare that I don't get on unless there's something going on, but and of course I still enjoy painting. So, but I'd have a lot bigger studio if I ever hit the Powerball or a big lottery win or something like that. I'd definitely have a bigger studio. I'd buy a house with a huge garage or something and have one built with this nice studio. But I don't see that happening. Florida lottery hates me. They don't want me to win anything big. Well, I got that one claimer, but God, it took 40 years to hit one of them. Of course, I know people that have done it for even longer than that and never hit nothing. But for the longest time, I couldn't even hit 500 on one. Then all of a sudden, I hit like 2 in 1 year and the claimer. That's just the way it works. Just the way it works. I've hit 100. I can't count how many times. I've hit hundreds and 200s. I've hit 3 or 4 200s. I've hit a 300. I've hit a 400. And hundreds, I bet I've hit a $100 ticket 50 times at least. I've hit 100 on tickets. But that's over a pretty long period of time. But I had last year wasn't too bad, and the year before I hit 100 probably 20 times over the last couple of years. 100 or more. You'll never break even with the lottery anyway. You all know that. The only thing you can do is hope that you hit one of the top prizes. That's the only thing you can do. Yeah. Yeah. A few of them. That's great. I went a lot of years. A lot of years before I ever hit a 500. I hit 100 many times before that, 200 a couple of times. I even hit a 300. I hit a 360 on a $2 lottery. I hit a $360 win. And but I never hit a 500. Finally, I hit the 500, and it wasn't a week later, if that, I hit a 400 after that. And then probably a few weeks later, I got the first 2 $5 crosswords that came out. They just came out. They'd been out 2 days, and they had 2 stacks of that $5 crossword. I got one from each stack, and I hit 100 on one, 50 on another. Went back a few days later, got another one of the crosswords because they went through them so fast. There's another pack, and I hit another 100. I mean, I just had a streak of luck that was just unbelievable for a short time. Excuse me. But that's the way it works, you know, right place, right time. It's just that simple. And you know that. That's the way it is. Right place, right time. My daughter Nancy hit $2,000 claimers in 1 year, and several $500 winners at least. I mean, she was she got lucky as all get out in 1 year that she was scratching them. But she don't scratch much anymore. Once in a while, she'll grab a few, but um, she was actually scratching tens and twenties back then. But she kind of kept track of them because she actually worked at the store. She couldn't buy them herself, but she had to buy them from another employee or whatever. But she would see who was winning, what was winning on what. Once in a while, I guess she'd get down toward the end of the pack, and she knew if she knew there wasn't any winners, then she would buy one or two or three or whatever. Yeah, okay. I'll let you know, Recon. In fact, let me pull up this YouTube real quick. Um, Let me pull up YouTube itself. I can look and see what's there for watch hours right now, so I'll know the difference. I have to go to my YouTube studio to see. I'm gonna write them down. That way I'll know for sure. So I got like 72.4 watch hours. So I should see a pretty good increase on that within the next day or two. I'll have to watch and see. But I can tell too on the chart here. Let's see. Yesterday was the 14th. See, I'm only showing right now. The 14th, I got 16 watch hours. And we had very few people on last night. So that was the only watch time we got. So I probably got about 10 extra watch hours. So you might have hit it. But it may not be showing up yet though, I'm not sure. That's 16, 17, that's about average. June 12th, I had 20. Went down to 7 on the 10th. The most I had in June was on the 5th with 32. Horrible. June 2nd, I had 4. Yeah, it's been pretty bad, without a doubt. But yeah, it does take a little while for it to update. It's doing an update now, so it's hard to tell. Average view durations down to 10 minutes, almost 11 for the last 28 days. Yeah, it may not show up tomorrow at all. I'm not sure. Tomorrow may be the next day. Sometimes it's just slow as all get out. I mean, I'm not even showing much any ad revenue really for the last several days. I think I made a whole 3 cents from ad revenue. That's it, which is a bit surprising. It should have been a little bit more than that anyway. I can't because it's not enough. My internet's not strong enough, and it'll cap it on me. That freaking Viasat will cap me if I leave it on all night. It'll drop it down to the lower than what it is now. If I was at the group home still with the DSL, I'd do the same thing, but I'd pull up about 10 of them and let them run. I did that many, many times. That's how I got monetized. I'd have 2 computers doing it. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I always let the ads run all the way through. Always. When I pull Francis up, when I do a live stream, I always let the ads run all the way through. Always. I just took her off later on when I noticed it was taking over 30 seconds lag. So then I pulled her off. I should have turned my phone off and restarted it. Sometimes that helps. Clear the buffers out or whatever. All right, guys, we've been a little bit over an hour. I'm going to go ahead and shut it down for the night, guys. Y'all have a good night. I appreciate you both coming. Ken, Recon. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you tomorrow night. And we're going to shut this baby down for the night and go to bed. So y'all have a good night and take care. Bye-bye.